Okay. So we're recording. Uh,
Hi, Evan.
أهلا وعليكم السلام يا
Oh,
فاطمة.
hi Fatima. How are you? I'm so good. How are you? I'm good. We miss you.
Oh
I know I
I
miss you
miss you.
guys so much. Oh my God, Anud. That's
Gosh, hi.
bad. That's so nice.
It's been so long. How's everything?
I know, it's crazy. Everything's so good. It's so good. I miss our Arabic class. I truly do. I think about it all the time.
Oh, we miss you too. It's not the same without you.
Oh man, you guys. It's so kind. I'm
Uh,
taking I'm taking a Dutch class now, and a lot of the whole process is really reminding me of learning Arabic. And our we have a very like tight-knit class like we had. It's really nice to see.
that's very good. At the end of the day, you're doing the same thing, but it's a different language.
Right.
Um, okay, so this is our first brown bag for this year. And everyone, this is one of our most amazing students I mean the Arabic program. Uh, Evan came to the program he didn't have a lot of exposure to Arabic, if I remember correctly. Um, you had some exposure, but linguistically speaking, Evan didn't have much exposure to Arabic, and he thrived in the program. I still remember his projects. I still remember his final projects. I still remember that he is the only student in elementary Arabic 2 who really dedicated time to write there was one of the exercises is to write sentences, listen to an infinite number of sentences, and he would write each sentence. Evan thrived in the program, and we truly miss having Evan. So, Evan, without further ado, I don't want to take much of your time. Please share your success story with us. Shukran, ya Evan.
Thank you so much, and I hope that I can live up to those beautiful words.
You
So-
do.
But yeah, so I guess I'll just start introducing myself. If you don't know me, my name is Evan. I'm from upstate New York. I'm from Buffalo. And yeah, I was in the Arabic program all of last year at Stony Brook. Before I the opportunity came up that I was able to study abroad in the Netherlands. So that's where I am now. Um, but yeah, I guess I'll start with why I chose to learn Arabic. And I think, Ustada, I don't think I ever told you this story, but I will say that I think my introduction to Arabic was slightly spontaneous in a way, I think. So it was my first week at Stony Brook, and the class that I had originally signed up for got dropped. And so at that point, I was taking 11 credits, and I needed something else in order to remain a full-time student. And so I knew that I wanted to add another language. I love language learning. Um, and so I was browsing through the options, and I think there was like Spanish, Italian. Um, I even considered Russian at a point. I don't know why. But I stumbled across Arabic. And I'm not sure why, but something really caught my interest. I think I have always had kind of this fascination with Arabic writing and calligraphy. I think it was beautiful, and I thought it would be just this very daunting task to begin to learn how to decipher, this totally foreign concept to me. Um, and I had also just come back from spending a year abroad in Senegal, which has a population that's about 98% a Muslim majority. So I had like just a brief introduction to some parts of Islamic culture. And so yeah, I think in a way my introduction to Arabic was definitely slightly spontaneous. Um, but I thought just in general it would be a great way to challenge myself and also learn a skill that I could probably impress my friends with. But then I think when classes started, um, oh, hi, Mateen. Yeah, so classes started, and I really realized that there was so much more to this class that I was going to be learning that I absolutely did not anticipate. And so I just immediately knew that I had made the right decision choosing Arabic. Um, I remember the first couple of days when we started to learn the alphabet. Um, I had this feeling, this totally, like, I was overwhelmed, but I just had this total love. I totally fell in love with the idea of, learning or becoming literate in, a new language and a new alphabet. It was just amazing. Um, I think maybe it was something about, making sense of this thing this concept that, I've seen all my life, but I had no idea, what it meant or, anything. Um, and so in that moment, I think I knew it wasn't going to be easy. But I did know that I wanted to keep going with it. And I'm so grateful that I did. And yeah, by the end of the first semester, I just absolutely knew without a doubt I would continue this language learning journey. And yeah, it was absolutely, I think without a doubt, it was the most fulfilling class that I took last year. I think I really got so much out of it. Um, and yeah, I guess, in terms of what I did learn, I think, Ustada, you had explained earlier in the class, I remember you had made kind of like a preface before we started learning to write, um, that there's kind of this like a discourse among Arabic teachers, um, and whether or not to emphasize writing or speaking or, what students should learn first. Um, and I think, however, though, and I already said this a bit, but um, just to become literate in a language is such a gift. And it's also something that, it can't be taken away. So, and this was happening, while I was learning, while I was in the course, and it still happens now. Just, seeing random like Arabic phrases, in public, or, walking down the street, seeing advertising in town, or, just like the sign for the local, Turkish grocery store, and being able to read what it says. I think it's really, really an incredible thing. And I feel so grateful just to be able to, decipher that. It's such a, how many people can say that they can do that, outside of the Arabic world. Um, yeah, and I know I've met a couple people after this class who they've learned Arabic, but they learned it kind of from the transliteration from the Latin scripts. Um, and I think in some ways it's a bit of a shame because I think there's something that's lost. There's kind of this nuance, to knowing the alphabet and knowing how to write Arabic, and it helps to make a lot of sense of the Arabic language, I think, in general. Um, yeah, I always think, my my dad and I, we have this our favorite Bengali restaurant that we've been going to since I was like a little kid. And I remember coming back home during the winter break, and we had duff, and we had just done the like haruf ashamsiya and all this, and I remember seeing the name of the restaurant, which is As-Salam, and I remember thinking, oh, okay, I understand why it's As-Salam and not El-Salam. It was really a kind of an interesting, kind of a cool thing. I'd been going there all my life, and then I see this like connection between what I was learning. It was really cool. Yeah, and I also think that taking Arabic, especially with Ustada, I think you really just furthered my fascination with linguistics in general. And that's actually what I'm studying now at the school. And I think there are so many just little intricacies in language, and that's fascinating to me. And of course, the Arabic language is, not an exception to that at all. And it just completely broadened my view of how language can work. And so, yeah, now I mentioned in the beginning, I'm learning Dutch, and so I'm talking with some of my friends in class, and they talk about, how difficult it is to learn a language, and I can totally empathize with them. However, I think I can't say that I had the same difficulty. Um, I know I was thinking as I was starting to take the course, I was thinking, well, I mean, Dutch, uses the same alphabet as I do, like it can't be that hard. So it definitely has made, learning languages, much a simpler task. Um, yeah. And then I think as one other really kind of amazing thing that I got out of Arabic, and I think this is true from learning any language around the world, is that it just kind of, gave me so many little connections to the people around me. And truly, it like opened the door to have just these, small but really meaningful interactions with people. And I think like this past summer, I was visiting a friend who lives in like a rural Pennsylvania. It's very like out there, middle of nowhere. And him and I were going to this little farmers market, and there happened to be a Palestinian man selling pastries at his market. And so I think I was feeling bold that day, and I decided to put to use, what little knowledge I had over the past year. I think I said something like, like Minai. And but immediately, although it was, such a brief, maybe, minute long interaction, uh, we had this like amazing connection just through this common language, and his face just like lit up, and we had this, little moment. And I think it was really beautiful. And I think we really, we can underestimate a lot, how impactful, just a few words can be. Um, yeah, I think I was really, really grateful to to get that out of this class. Yeah, and I think it's just a beautiful thing about learning language in general. Um, yeah, and then I think for the cultural aspect of our course, um, yeah, I think I really, really loved learning about Arab and Islamic culture in general, and I especially loved just the little simple events that brought us together. Like making like kurat al taka. I always remember that. And I also really have fond memories of the exchanges that we had with Prince Sultan University, which in the moment I didn't see as very I didn't see as very groundbreaking or anything, but um, looking back, they were very memorable. And I think that was the first time that I had spoken to people from Saudi. And yeah, I love being able to talk to the people of a nation. Or I think we're always hearing the news, and what a country did. And of course the news is never positive, especially today. And so I think it's amazing just to kind of forget about a country's government, or what we see in the news, and see a country for its people. It's very a very humanitarian thing, and I love that. Um, and yeah, I also loved just the group of people that Arabic brought together, just in our class. Um, it was really, really amazing. And I think, we all learned so much from one another, just learning alongside each other. Um, yeah, I know there are a lot of Urdu speakers as well. And I always thought it was really interesting to see like the differences in writing, and watching Ustada like correct people and be like, no, that's not that's not Arabic, that's Urdu. Um, I thought that was really cool. And yeah, I mean, people with backgrounds from everywhere. We had Yemen, Egypt, Nigeria, like all over the world. Um, but everybody came from different backgrounds, but everybody came together to learn this common language. Well, people had different reasons for it. Um, I thought it was really, really cool to see, such a diverse group of people come together and, have this common goal. Um, yeah. Uh, Other than that, it was that you asked me to share maybe some tips that helped me while I was oh, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. There's just a little lag, and now we don't hear you. I think we lost you.
You cut out on my end. But
We can hear you now, I think. Evan?
can you hear me?
I
Sorry,
can
that's
hear you now.
the university Wi-Fi.
Oh, it's all right.
You can? Okay, great. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I think you had asked me to share some tips that helped me while learning Arabic. Um, I think there are a few things, and there are also some things that I've taken with me learning other languages and just studying in general, really. Um, and with Arabic, I really learned, I think, how to make the language just a part of my daily life. Um, and I happened to find a few. I think one thing that I didn't think about, in the beginning, but really helped me along the way was I found a few good like Arabic Instagram accounts. And so, when I found myself like scrolling for an hour or two, I would at least, get interrupted a few times to have a little Arabic lesson. So I think that was a good way.
You remember
And
the
then
accounts? So maybe people write the accounts or something?
yeah. You know what? I can send them to you as well.
Sure.
And yeah, we can share in the end. Um, yeah. So and I still follow them and I still get those little I think I have a few that like they share an Arabic word a day or something like that. And it's cool just to, remind yourself of the progress you're making and, to remember to study. Um, yeah, and I think I also tried to make flashcards a daily activity. um, I know that is maybe a little more tough, but even sitting down for 15, even 5 minutes a day, if you can find the time, I think it's better than nothing. And yeah, that's definitely something that I've taken with me, learning other languages. Yeah, yeah. So I think that's what I would suggest. And also, I think in my totally unbiased opinion, if you have a chance to study abroad, that is an amazing, amazing way to learn a language, or just to have a better view of the world, or different view of the world. Maybe not better, but different. Yeah. So I learned French that way, and I think I still think it's definitely the most efficient way to learn a language. That's for sure. But yeah.
Um, I know it's late where in the Netherlands. What time is it?
Oh, it's not too late. It's okay. Maybe it's 7 o'clock.
7. Okay. I really want the students. Hope that the students get as much as they can from you because you are an amazing learner. Evan is a polyglot. He learned French. He's learning Dutch now. He learned Arabic. So he is such an amazing resource. So now the floor is open for questions. You can just unmute yourself. Ask Evan questions. يلا يا ناس شباب وشابات. You can just unmute yourself, people. Okay. Um, uh, yeah, let's not make it sound weird. Come on, people. Any
Yeah,
questions?
right.
Uh,
I'm curious. I'm curious, I guess, what do
I'll
people
go,
find
I'll go ahead because I feel like
difficult?
we already know everything about Evan because we've spent a wonderful semester with him. But I guess I'll go ahead and just ask this. So I know like a lot of times when you're trying to learn something new, you kind of face like pushbacks and certain stereotypes get associated. But how do you deal with those kind of challenges and how do you kind of navigate forward moving on from that?
Yeah. I think it's really interesting to think about. And I think, yeah, definitely like learning a language is one of those things that, yeah, absolutely. It can be kind of embarrassing in a way. And I think that's definitely something that you have to overcome. Um, even just like, the first class is, where you're, everybody's new and, you don't really know each other. And, Ustada is asking you to make all these crazy sounds that you've never tried to make before in your life. I think, getting over that embarrassment or, making attempts to speak to people and, they don't reciprocate or they don't understand you. That's something that I'm absolutely facing learning Dutch. I think Dutch people uh, aren't as open, when you aren't very, fluent in the language. But keeping trying and not letting the embarrassment get to you. I think that is one of the. I think that's one of the biggest things in learning another language. Um, yeah, that there's no other way to learn than to try, and it's okay to, sound silly or make mistakes or whatever because you'll learn something out of it.
Awesome. شكرا يا عنود. People, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask your question.
I had a question. So you know so many languages. How are you able to like remember all of them and like use them in everyday life?
Yeah, that is definitely that's a tough one. I think, yeah, definitely having to be conscious about it. And I've definitely struggled with this through Arabic, because for other languages I know, I speak French and I also speak Wolof, which is spoken in Senegal. Um, I think I have people, to call on the phone and practice. And yeah, with Arabic, it's not as I'm not as fortunate with that. Um, but I think, yeah, like still making it a part of every day. So, it's just randomly I'll get the urge like to write in Arabic, just like to kind of jog my memory. And it's definitely like the writing part is like it's like riding a bike. Like it's no big deal, and I can remember, what how the letter looks in the middle, in the end, in the beginning of the word. Um, I think that's really cool. Um, yeah, though I think that's definitely a difficult part of learning multiple languages. Um, yeah, you just have to be conscious about it and yeah, hope that you don't lose it because I think that's a very the thought of losing any language that I know, because it becomes, it becomes a part of you basically. Um, I hate that thought that I would lose anything. So yeah, I think maybe it's also that that fear that that motivates me to keep going.
شكرا يا فاطمة. People, you can unmute yourself and ask.
Evan, hi.
Okay.
Hey, Mateen.
You love to go study abroad. Do you think you're going to go to an Arab country one day and, meet Arabs? Are there Arab students in your current university?
Yeah. There are. I'm actually one of my best friends is from Jordan here, and yeah, my school now, and I think Stony Brook also has exchange to Morocco. I would absolutely love to go to Morocco, and I've been hearing so much about it recently. I don't know what it is. I think Morocco's like in the air or something, but I really have such a strong desire to go there, and I think to study there as well. I've met some exchange students at my school now who are from Morocco, um, and yeah, I don't know that they're like so interesting to talk to and so open and
Yeah.
yeah, I would love to go to Morocco, and I've never been any Arabic speaking country or yeah, and also Ustada, you have really sold Egypt for me as well, so I would really love to go to Egypt one day too.
The best people, simply.
Yeah. I always remember that. I always remember that. But yeah.
People, you can unmute yourself. It was a good question, Yamatin. Unmute yourself. It's just an informal conversation with one of our most amazing students. So yeah.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
we can hear you.
This session. I'm polyglot, so I see myself in you, like future me. I see it's you actually, because hopefully
Oh,
I want to see. I want to go on exchange programs. I'm an aspiring polyglot, so I speak 4 to 5 languages as well, including English. Arabic is I've learned from 4th to the 8th grade. My school is very. I grew up in Pakistan. It's incorporated into our school system. So I'd say I'm very rusty now, but there's a lot that I still remember. I took a gap year right after high school, and I ended up learning Turkish then. And then I do speak 2 regional languages, and then I speak my national language, which is Urdu. Um, and so I've always loved linguistics. Actually, I'm pre-med, but one of the things that I wanted to do, as everyone says, that you can pick any major as long as you do your prerequisites. So I was wanting to go into a language course or linguistics. And I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. I'm a freshman here. It's my first semester. Um, but so I had a bunch of questions. Like one is that even though in my gap year I got to take one-on-one classes with the Turkish native speaker, I don't really know how to continue that anymore. Like Stony didn't offer any Turkish courses in the first semester. So like how do you keep up with like I am at a level where I'm not completely satisfied with my Turkish. Like I can understand conversations really well, but it's like one of the like requisites for me to understand the language is like being able to watch a TV show in that language without subtitles. Like I don't know, that's always been something that it's like, oh, like if I listen to a conversation or if I watch a TV show and I'm not at that proficiency, I can definitely get the gist of it, but I can't completely tell what they're saying 100%. So to get to the 100%, I still don't know what I'm supposed to do. Um, so that's one thing. How did you get to that proficiency?
yeah, and that's actually really interesting. Because I should have mentioned before how yeah, watching shows and consuming like popular culture and other media um, in your target language is such an amazing way to learn. And so I think not to like get frustrated with yourself in learning. Um, that's also one of those barriers in learning a language because you can like feel like you're plateauing or you've kind of like gotten stuck. But I think to keep doing the regular practice, keep watching shows and listening to music in the language that you want to learn. um I think that's it is very frustrating, and I can totally understand like the you know feeling like there's nothing more that you can do to learn. um but yeah, I think just keeping it a regular part of your routine and not letting that frustration get to you is very, very important. I think it's really cool that you're able to follow along in shows. That's already like a huge thing. But yeah, I guess that's what I would say.
Yeah, thanks. And a follow-up question would be um, like I wanna, I'm an aspiring polyglot. I definitely am not stopping at these 5 languages. I want to obviously get more fluent with Arabic, and then I have a bunch more on my list. How do I do that? Like being a college student, especially doing pre-med, like I just don't know how I'm gonna fit that into my routine, how I'm gonna get that into my courses. Like we only have one language required for an SVC, right? So how do I, keep up trying to be a polyglot with college, you know?
Yeah. I think that is every language learner. I think that's their question constantly. And yeah, I think it just comes down to what your priorities are. And if it is really, really something that you want to do, you will find the time for it, like any other hobby. And so I think if you can think of it as, for me, I think what I do to get around this, it almost seems like an impossible question. How are you going to learn an entirely new language while also studying for, these insanely difficult exams and, all this junk that we have to deal with as college students. But yeah, I think that if it is something that you really, really are pushed to do and you feel very motivated, it will happen if you can think of it less as work and more something that you're doing, for yourself. And I think that is something that I've also learned, that I think of learning a language as, because I enjoy it so much. And obviously, if you're wanting to be a polyglot, or, you want to learn even just one other language, it's clearly something that interests you. Thinking of it less as a chore or a task that you have to do, but something that, you're doing to kind of, a nice thing you're doing for yourself, and, making the time to, pursue a hobby. I think, yeah, that mindset portion of it is very important as well. I don't know if that's a very satisfying answer, but yeah, I think that's what I've got.
No, that's awesome. Thank you so much for that. And that is something that obviously, like, I'm just gonna have to make time for it, and that's just how it is, you're right. And I of course, I do look at it less as a burden, something that I want to do, but I think I just have to push myself to do that with all the college work, and I'm ready to do that. I think I just needed someone to say that to me. There's no easy way out of this, you know. But again, as you said, I'm definitely willing to do it, and so hopefully I get it done. Thank you so much.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I wish you the best of luck. I'm also no expert, but
Thank you.
thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
People, you can just unmute yourself and ask your next question if you have any questions for Evan.
What do you think is the best way to get from the like kind of awkward stage of like being able to like recognize words and like kind of roughly understand to like actually being able to be conversational and like actually understanding?
Yeah, that is definitely. I think in, I guess with every language that I've learned, there is a step where like I I can understand, and I'm feeling, pretty confident about, you know, I have a good grasp on, grammar and vocab and everything. But when you go to speak, it almost just like, it's like it doesn't come out. Like your brain and your, what your body actually does, it doesn't agree. Um, and so, uh, yeah, it's definitely, it's tough. It's very tough. And I also think it differs per person. But I think for me, what I found is just like, again, just going for it, and, not being afraid to make mistakes, or, trying as much as you can to speak, like, for example, in class, even if, it's something simple, like, indisual, if you can like incorporate little tiny things, that's also like a stride, um yeah, I know, it's that's a tough, I think that might be one of the more frustrating steps to be at in learning a language, but also know that it's you are making progress whether or not it feels like it. And yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
We have 1 more minute if you have any question, people.
Yeah, I have another question.
Yes.
Evan, I remember you telling me that the reason why you chose Arabic is because you want to do some social work in the Middle East. Can you like tell us more about that?
Yeah. That is definitely like, that was one of the things that I had in mind while learning Arabic. And I mean, who knows what I'll be doing, after school or, whatever. But that's definitely what I'm pursuing now. I don't know where I'll end up in the world, but I think that is what fascinates me most about language, and honestly, what pushed me to study linguistics, is that language plays such a huge role in, I mean, in any field, really. Obviously, who doesn't use language? Um, but the ways that it connects people is something I'm really, really interested in. And I think that was my that was kind of the driving force behind why I had that justification for learning Arabic. And so even I also had the thought of working in Senegal as well, having learned Wolof, because I saw just the power that comes with learning another culture's language, and how just you immediately have a connection with, not just because you learn the language, but because in learning a language you also understand, cultural connotations and everything, that it's not it's inseparable. So yeah, I think that's definitely what drove me to learn linguistics. And yeah, I hope to pursue. I'm on that same path now, so we'll see what happens. I'll come back to you in like 4 years, and we'll catch up, and I'll let you know if I got there.
Okay, thank you.
طيب, everyone. Thank you so much, Evan, for giving this talk. It's very inspirational. I'm really happy to have you back. I will stop the recording now. Can I talk to you for 5 minutes?
Absolutely, yes.
Evan, thank you so much. Everyone, thank you for coming. I'll see you in class tomorrow.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you for listening.
Question.
Thanks, Evan.
Thank you, Evan. Bye. Good luck.
Thank you.